guys doing? It's Mel from the Defense Coalition. Today what I want to cover is the 1858 New Model Army Snubnose made by Pietta. Now this particular gun here is called the Pietta Ace. And I don't have the cylinder in it right now because not only is it capped, but it is also loaded. And this is a Claymore. And I just didn't feel comfortable putting it in here right now. For the safety of this video, I'm just gonna record it unloaded without the cylinder. That'll work for now. 1858 Remington New Model Army. Now, for those of you who call this the 1858 Remington, I just want to let you guys know that is an inaccurate term. 1858 is when Remington got the patent for this firearm. And these didn't actually go into production until somewhere around 1861, 62. It's not an original, it's a replica, but it's a beautiful replica. It's a nostalgic piece. This is not a historically accurate firearm by any means. This is what's called a fantasy gun. This is a cut down version of the New Model Army 8-inch barrel version. A lot of people back then would cut these down for concealability. The 8-inch barrels were so long. Like I said before in my last video, there were a lot of ordinances against open carry. So a lot of people just wanted to be able to sneak something in to wherever they were going to protect themselves. What Pietta went ahead and did is they made the 3-inch barrel. You can see here the 3-inch barrel and a very nice, good sized sight right here on the end of it. A lot of people don't like that sight. I like that sight. This pin locks the cylinder in place. They did an excellent job on this. It's got a brass trigger guard, walnut handle. Now this handle actually came off of my 5.5-inch Sheriff model. Nice slick action. The cylinder, it takes number 10 percussion caps. So if you're experiencing problems and you have 11s, that's probably why. I have all 6 of these with a 30 grain powder charge and a .454 round ball in each cylinder, and I only cap 5 of them. That way when I load it, this hammer is resting on an empty cylinder. Well, the cylinder is not empty, but it's not capped, so it's not gonna go off. I wanna give you guys a little more of the backstory on the Remington New Model Army. The standard size was 8-inch, like I said. These revolvers were secondary for Union Army troops during the Civil War, and they were second behind Colt. Now, there was a big fire that damn near ran Sam Colt out of business. There was a fire at his factory where his firearms were being produced, and that's when Remington just kind of stepped in and started to supply the United States government with these. Well, not these, but the longer ones. The standard Army revolver back then was the Colt 1860 Army, also an 8-inch barrel. After the fire, those weren't available for quite some time. Remington knew this, and they went to the government and they offered Remington 1858 patent New Model Army to the government at $15 each, which was about $10 cheaper than what Colt was charging the Ordnance Department. Another good thing about this patent is these safety slots right here. Now you can see that slot in between each percussion cap. That was so you could rest the hammer there and be able to safely load all 6 rounds. Me, I don't trust it. That's just not deep enough of a groove for me. Now, if you want to take some sort of Dremel tool or just kind of file that down nice and fine, then you can rest your hammer in there with no worries. But until then, I'm sticking with the 5 rounds. I wanted to file that down, but it's loaded and I don't feel like going anywhere to empty it into a creek. I'm just gonna get this over to my gun guy, do a couple little modifications to it. Pietta did a wonderful job on this. Beautiful gun. I know you see the Taylor's box up here. This is the Ace. I didn't get this from Taylor's. I don't think I got this from Taylor's. I think this came from Midway, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, an upside to this Remington, and they were smart back in 1858 when they patented this. I call those Colts cap suckers. I love Sam Colt to death, but those Colts are cap suckers. This right here, this patent, Remington eliminated that with this solid frame, this top strap right here. So if you got the right size percussion caps in here, you're not gonna run into that issue, especially with the Sheriff model. out of the box. If you got a problem with that, I'll say that for another video. I think the top strap is the best part of this gun because it just solidifies the reliability of it. The one thing that might be a downside to some people is that the barrel and the receiver is all one piece, and some people think that it's more difficult to clean. I could see what you mean by that. I like how Pietta also put the details up underneath there and the serial number up underneath the grip. Listen, shout out to Hafer's Guns up there in Hagerstown, Maryland and Fallen Waters, West Virginia. Check them out online. Now, this came with the PVC grips originally, and I like them. You gotta watch what you put on. Listen, that's why I put this on, because you gotta have some nice clothes when you put this on. They're not for every occasion. These are a special type of elegant grip. You can't just have this on your hip with these grips and just be all over the place. You at the junkyard, you selling scrap metal. These are not the grips for that. I'm gonna throw these on here when I go out on the town. You gotta look nice when you put them grips on. Until then, I keep it a little rugged. Smooth, but rugged. Pietta did a wonderful job putting this together. It's not too much more you have to do to this if you don't want to. Slam dunk, home run, whatever you want to call it, slice it down the middle, give Pietta their props on this. Wonderful everyday carry for concealability. Give them a thumbs up. Smell from the Defense Coalition, Black Powder Adventures. You guys stay safe out there and don't get into no shit.